The good guys looking to climb to the top themselves here with a 2-0 over the Playing Ducks. Caldor, can they make it a 3-0?
If they get Illidan, yes.
You think so? Do you think Illidan really propels them that much forward that they're able to get the victories over teams that maybe would normally beat them?
With the double support, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I really we have seen a lot of Illidan at the mid-season brawl. We've seen it from Xaylia a lot of times. We've seen after the mid-season brawl from a lot of teams. We talked about Darkmook on Illidan as well for Team Liquid. So I think Illidan is for sure back, and he is a huge force if you have a double support behind him and are able to pick up a good damage dealer on top of it too. So I think that the Ducks have to adjust that draft.
Well, game 3 time. Where are we going for the third game? Will the Playing Ducks pick the battleground? The answer is yes. They are going to Tomb of the Spider Queen. This is a battleground that they typically will go to if they get the chance here. Normally, it's Braxton sold out, but every time you play against the Ducks, usually Braxton sold out's banned out.
Yeah, so right now, the Ducks, you can snowball this a lot harder. And this is also a map where you don't... So I said ban out the Illidan, but at this point, you don't necessarily feel the same pressure from an Illidan on Tomb that you do on other maps.
Sure.
He is still being played here, though. The big argument against Illidan on Tomb of the Spider Queen was oftentimes that Illidan thrives on bigger maps where he has a lot of space to chase, but that isn't really the case when you're playing on Tomb.
Sure.
The one point is, though, once that you start to open up the map a little bit and you take the first few walls and also the forts down, all of a sudden the map really opens up and Illidan gets his momentum again. So we have seen Illidan on this map, but maybe the Ducks just have a strategy plan, maybe around the Medivh again, where they can start to snowball early, and that's the game plan here.
Well, let's do it. Tomb of the Spider Queen. What does the Playing Ducks have in store here to handle the pressure that the good guys continuously put on top of them? Gotta maybe stop that Ariel. That Ariel continuously has been going over to the good guys. Let's love to see them maybe take it away from him.
I love the Medivh ban here. Once again, I think this is a great tool to use. The Ducks are starting to react a little bit against what the good guys have been doing. They ban out one of the supports. And the good guys, they don't even think about this for a second. They're immediately saying, you know what, you can ban that Oriel all day long. We don't care. We are taking Uther. We can still go with a Rhaegar pick, with a Tassadar pick, into a Tassadar combo if we want to. Into an Illidan combo if we want to, or we can just simply go into a double support range. At this point, with an Uther, you're super flexible. So they didn't think for a second about that pick.
Take away our Angel, we'll get the Lumberjack. And the thing is, Playing Ducks continuously keep going into the some kind of tank, whether it be Dahaka or it's been Avatar as well, but they always grab the Genji in their first couple of slots here. And Genji's been having a rough time. So far, Team Good Guys has been shutting him down pretty well. There was the one moment where we saw a ping pong from Sport Billy where he got 2 kills last time, but other than that, I haven't seen a moment where Genji has been explosive for their team.
Now, the problem you have, though, is if you let him go, Good Guys might pick him up.
It's true.
And you have already Uther on the other side. So if Genji is being picked now, you have the Divine Shield and the Dragon Blade. So the Ducks have to decide how highly they value him. And here you can also see the Malthael priority coming into play. So Malthael for the bot lane, super early pickup, and the Genji for the Ducks, just simply saying we still believe in his powers here, especially on a map where with the Agile Dismount you can cross lanes super fast.
Twice we have seen Malthael absolutely destroying the bottom lane on this battleground. See if that'll be repeated here. Can the good guys shut down the mouth, or will they have to deal with that pressure? And as you mentioned it, the Agile Dismount from Genji coming in is another tool that they can make sure that Malthael wins that lane. Stitches and
Stitches again. They prioritize the Stitches so much higher than the Anubarak. It's really interesting to see. Anubarak is one of those auto picks by a lot of teams. It's already surprising to me that he is shoved this far back in the picks, but he is together with the Uther still. Uther and Anubarak are the only 2 heroes that we have in the European HGC that have a 100% involvement rate. They're the only 2. So at this point, I would still expect the Playing Ducks to go for the Anubarak, but it's interesting to see that the good guys are just saying, you know what? We take Stitches. Every time. We get the chance, we take the Stitches. This is the 3rd game in a row where they go for Stitches here. And it's a great map for him. So
Playing Ducks ban Vala, do they pick up Lunara here and try to take away every option Team Good Guys has except for the Cassia? Is that their plan? They're just trying to shut it down.
They could. Lunara would once again work perfectly. You have the Tassadar already with the slow, so they take it away. I like that a lot, that they are picking Lunara away, because if they wouldn't... that was an obvious pick for the good guys. So take the Lunara away, play it herself, and now we are seeing for one of the first times the good guys having to actually react to what's happening here.
I love drafting, man. It's like chess in a way, and some forms of it, just trying to out-manipulate your opponent, try to be a step ahead of them.
Talking chess, Raid Boss is the main drafter on the side of the good guys, but when we're talking about ideas that are given, Antihero is actually an extremely good chess player. And I'm not even joking, that kid is real.
Off the 1v1 him. I'm pretty good at moving pawns. Could take him. Got this.
I would pay to watch that.
We'll let you commentate it. We'll make a video of it. It'll be great.
I would be laughing the entire time. I'm pretty sure the kid would buddy you.
That's the best commentary right there. Just laughter.
One way or another, we have the Illidan again. So for the third time in a row, it's a double support Stitches Illidan. The only thing that changes here is the backliner.
And that's great, man. It's not a bad one either.
Yeah, at this point, it's basically... Again, I would just ban out the Illidan. I think Illidan is really the big factor here. And Raid Boss, yes, if he gets the Lunara, he would prefer the Lunara in this setup. With the synergy that you have with Tassadar and Stitches, Lunara is a pick that he would immediately go to. You ban out the Lunara, he will jump onto the Vala, as he did in the last one. You get rid of both of them, you still have the Greymane against you. And they go into an Arthas with this. Now, let me think about that real quickly, but I think I hate this.
Just lay it out there. First initial thoughts. I
really think you can blow up that Arthas.
You can. Stitches into Hook, Curse Bullet, you have the Divine Shield or the Divine Storm. Even if you want to go for the lockdown and you just completely destroy him right away. However...
That Ancestral has to be really on point. And even if you hit the Ancestral on point, you are trading really unfavorable cooldowns. So Arthas can struggle into this a lot. One of the times when we've seen it, and the one... We have seen it with the second backliner. That was in the last phase when B-Genius all of a sudden started to pick up their big win streak, and they played against Tricked, and they had an Arthas against them, and they did exactly the same thing. They were jumping on the target with initial stun, hit the bullet, and immediately blew the target up. So we don't have the exact amount of burst damage because of the Illidan compared to Liming that they use in addition to that. But you can still put Arthas in a really awkward spot here if you get that one hook against him. And he will be that frontliner. He doesn't have an escape. So his biggest thing is going to be yelling for help and saying, Rhaegar, I need healing. So
it's difficult, but I think the payoff can work if that Arthas does not fall. Illidan suddenly gets slowed down, Lennar gets her poison starting to spread out, and then suddenly you have Genji and Malthael going in and being in the back line that are introducing chaos and just being purely hectic. At that point, once you've used your Curse Bullet, you've also maybe used a hook, it's going to be a little bit difficult for Team Good Guys to disengage, and that's where you can win the team fight. So I don't mind it as much. It's hard, but I think they can do it.
I think at this point, one of the reasons why I actually hate it is that so far I see, which is weird to say because I didn't expect it coming into the series, I see the good guys being in the driver's seat. And if they are the ones to initiate the fight, then I think they are the ones to execute a combo. If you completely think about it from the other side and you're saying, hey, there's going to be a flank from an Arthas that is flanking into you, while a Lunara has on level 13 her unfair advantage, gets the advantage through the slow, and then you just simply lock down Illidan through the Arthas and his attack speed thing, then it's... You can make the argument both sides, I feel. Yeah. The only reason why I jump more towards the side of the good guys is because in the last two games, they were the ones to really have the momentum, initiate, and be in the driver's seat of the game. But you are absolutely correct that Illidan could be the crucial factor, sorry, that Arthas could be the crucial factor to lock down the Illidan and win the game for the Ducks.
Let's watch it unfold. Game 3. Let's start it out here. Can the good guys get a 3-0 victory today, which would be the most surprising thing I think I've said today, or will the playing Ducks start to fight back?
Heading straight into the game. And we are on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's the map choice of the playing Ducks, and they have to win it right here. They are down 0-2 against the good guys. Wolf Joe on Rhaegar, Sport Billy on Genji, Chris on Lunara. Down for the bot lane, it's Eternal on Malthael, and we have Nanda on Arthas up at the front.
On the right side in the red, Illidan played by Antihero, Kronaz on Uther, Zay playing Tassadar, gonna have Raid Boss on the Greymane, and BKB playing Stitches.
Yeah, that Illidan factor, is it gonna be enough? The Arthas, he can be a huge asset, he can be a liability here. Who is initiating these fights? Will the hook be enough to grab Arthas, to grab a Malthael? It is a great hero for the map, that's Stitches, but can they really get the good hooks and the follow-up, or is it going to be the playing ducks to run with the momentum and initiate with their Arthurs trying to shut down the Illidan?
See and watch it here. As the clear for Team Good Guys is very apparent. Look at them just clear out that middle wave instantly and start to rotate. Illidan on the bottom. And I will say the good thing for the playing Ducks is game 1 and game number 2, it felt like the Ducks always got the upper hand in kills. And that could be great for them, especially with the composition they have. If they can get to 10 before their opponents and start to open up the battleground, that's where Lunara can play. Malthael as well.
I love the bot lane. I really like it. This is what I wanted to see. No Abathur this time. So far, no gang. So we are going to see Malthael go up against the Illidan and see who's going to take it here. The rotation, of course, also super important at the same time.
Hook.
And the hook is hitting, and that puts Nanda not really into too much trouble here just yet. The damage output is not quite there yet. After level 10, that's going to be a different story. But of course, until level 10, the big question is going to be who gets the first and the second turn in.
That hook, though, stops the playing Ducks from rotating to the middle, which means they lose more ammo over time. Team Good Guys is actually spreading and pushing much more effectively than the playing Ducks. Their wave clear is much better with the cocktail coming in, even the slam from BKB, that they're pushing in their opponents. And look at the turrets already. They're down to half ammo. That's the idea of slow down the movement of your opponent so you can get advantage, especially when the web weavers come in later on.
Yeah, Raid Boss is moving away from this now, but Antihero has now been able to push this lane in with the rest. As you said, Tower is out of ammunition. They put some pressure on them too. And the rotation is still there. So now we have a pretty standard early game here. A couple of rotations, attempt to gank someone, not really getting too much done just yet. But the Good Guys haven't lost someone yet. They haven't lost a hero yet, and that is new because so far in the games, as you said, the Ducks have always been able to pick up a kill or two.
Progress. Gotta love it here.
Exactly. So they have a bit of progress in this early game. There's a lot of damage on the side of the Ducks for sure, especially when we're seeing Chris pop off on that Lunara. Pretty sure we're going to see Leaping Strike on her, which is going to make it a lot harder for Illidan to really stay close to her and get that kill. But for now, it's just both of the teams fighting over gems, trying to get towards the objective. And of course, the Good Guys are always aiming for a decent hook.
Do you think it's a Leaping Strike? Thornwood Vines could be good for the wave clear. They already have pretty good dive between Malthael and Genji. Do you think they go for it and just go for the kills?
I'm not even saying this just because I think going for the kills. I think if you go Thornwood Vines, we have more wave clear and you can really push this even harder and poke from a distance. For me, the Leaping Strike would be the alternative if they feel Illida is going to jump on them and she needs to reposition.
True. Okay, good point.
That's the only reason why I say the Leaping Strike. Usually, I'm hugely in favor of going straight into the Thornwood Vines for good poke from a distance. But if you have the Greymane against you and it jumps on you and you have the Illidan trying to dodge that and get yourself into a better position, just repositioning in the fight, that's what Leaping Strike, for me personally, really excels at.
Ante comes in for rotation, trying to lock down Ante. Will be able to dive it upon, but they can finally clear out those giants. 10 gems have been dropped off, but both of our teams are getting close to the actual turn-in point. Who will get it first? Chris low on health. He gets picked. Sport Billy also on the side turning around as Nande comes in and hits a pretty big, massive Howling Blast.
He nearly went over the wall there.
He like kicked him in the middle of the air while Sport Billy jumped out.
Exactly. Antihero was in mid-flight and was saying, wait a second, I don't want to go that far. I'm going to stay here. The question, who gets the first turn-in, has been resolved, though, and it is the Good Guys. TGG with the Web Weavers. The Ducks on the defense. They have Lunara. That's going to help them for sure. The Lightning Bond on Rhaegar. Ooh, good hook position here from BKB. Not getting it just yet, but there's already the wall broken. The Web Weavers aren't even here yet.
We're going to kite back. Web Weavers finally do show up. Eternal's only here for the rotation, going straight for it into Zay. Raid Boss is getting pretty low on health. Might even be picked up. It's
no
going to
way.
have anything. The shield alive. Sport Billy looking for it.
He needs healing.
He gets healed. Antihero turning around, looking at Nande. Can he get the kill? Diving a bit too far. Will get picked off.
Anti at this point, I mean, I like the no fear approach and the no respect approach, but he was just putting it a bit too far. He could have jumped out.
No.
Let me confirm that quickly. Yes, he could have. So he has a friend or foe. For a second, I was like, did he pick a different talent? That seems weird for an Illidan player on 4. But yeah, he could have actually jumped out there. Maybe he thought that Uta had the healer ready or the cooldown ready, but that wasn't the case. So they saved Greymane. They lost Illidan. He's already back. They got a few structures, but to be honest, not as much as they were hoping for here.
No, the Ducks completely shut that down there. Being able to get into the fight, they were able to slow down the Web Weavers, and the experience lead that Team Good Guys had was minimal, but now it's nothing, as playing Ducks are actually about to hit level 8 the same time Team Good Guys is. So good fight for the Ducks, and now they have a chance to answer back with their own turn-in.
It always seems that the first turn-in on Tomb is very rarely getting the value that you actually want. It's just the scaling that you have with the Web Weavers. The second and third one normally give you a bit of a better boost. Yes, the Good Guys have a slight experience lead, but it's nowhere near what you would expect here. And very rarely do you actually see that massive snowball. So oftentimes, if you can get the second turn-in, it even seems to benefit the team.
They did get 6 turrets, which is pretty decent, but I think they also missed out on some of the minions that they wanted to soak, and that's why they don't have that experience lead, because they were fighting. That's the main issue we're missing here. They could have been level 9, maybe 9.25.
Yeah, they still are on even footing on to level 10, and that's important for them with Illidan. Nice dodge against the Howling Blast that we just saw. Bit of extra damage against Sport Billy on the Genji. Level 9 is hit for them faster, but here's the Web Weavers. The hook! But Kronos was not ready for the stun.
Yeah, tiling out of position. BKB also with the slight body block, and the blue Web Weavers have been dropped off at level 9 here for the Ducks. Although Eternal getting caught in the bottom, and that's going to kind of hurt, neuter this push that's coming the way.
Perfect time for the kill. This is perfect for the Good Guys. They will have a much easier time defending now that Malfield is gone. And keep in mind, they are also about to hit the level 10, and once the Cursed Bullet is ready for Greymane, getting these hooks in is going to mean so much more.
Team Good Guys easily here on the defense. And you're right, that level 10, the big moment for Team Good Guys. And looks like they might just get it before their opponents here, actually. With the minion wave in the middle being cleared up. They're ever so close, top lane as well. Kronaz is up here in the top, and with Nande using that Howling Blast, playing Ducks have to retreat, knowing that the Good Guys have hit 10, but BKB, he is not intending to let them go.
So they have the Storm now, Divine Storm for the lockdown. So hook into stun, into Divine Storm, Cursed Bullet, and the Hunt on top of it. It is frightening what they have in terms of kill potential here. So it's just a question who initiates the fights. Are the playing Ducks getting the momentum that they can flank with Arthas and really just move in with the Malthael, whereas Lunara has the space in the back to deliver the damage? Or is it going to be the hook and the initiation of the Good Guys?
Playing Ducks, playing safe now. Realizing the hook is up, the blow up being available for them. Leaping Strike was picked up for Lunara, as you mentioned, so we'll have that escape from Illidan. Nice little tasty pickup there for a Lunara player. And I'm waiting for this turn-in. Where's the moment where they're going to be able to get this drop-off and continue, keep pushing forward?
It's such a crucial moment now.
Yeah.
The next fight, the next kill, the next turn-in can really determine who will be in the driver's seat for the next few minutes on this map.
Hunt?
And there comes the Hunt. They're moving in. They're trying to. Chris loses a lot of hit points, but he is nowhere close to dying. We are seeing Nande falling in HP quite a bit. Putrid Bile is on the ground. The continuous poke from Greymane. But the coordination wasn't there yet from the Good Guys. They don't get their kill. Ancestral has been used, so has been the Dragon Blade, and the army has been popped too. And keep in mind, cooldowns are a lot lower, a few of the important ones at least, on the side of the Good Guys.
Flank coming in, Uther here as well. Scorpio's going to jump. He gets locked down though. I think he tried to actually strike there. Is he going to actually fall? Raid Boss is coming in. Onto Hero with the final auto attack. Blue Web Weavers will be turned in here for the Ducks. They at least trade out, but Team Good Guys gets a kill.
Yeah, they get the kill, and that is another 17 seconds. Genji will be back as the Web Weavers are still on the map, but the defense should still be quite a bit easier. They should get one of the Web Weavers down before he actually arrives in the middle of the map. Anti-Hero has a lot of gems here, so they need to be careful with how deep Illidan is able to dive, or willing to dive, since they don't want to lose him. And yeah, the first one is already bursted down before Genji is there. They even dropped the Force Wall just to be safe. It's a ridiculously low cooldown.
This is an easy defense for the Good Guys. They actually push all their waves in the middle and the top to make sure that the Web Weavers didn't get on the forts.
Bullets.
Hang on, Ducks coming in, looking for a fight. The bullet did go out, and Nande falls low on health. There's a hook. No follow-up, though. They just want to turn around and clear out this Web Weaver, and Chris will happily take the time to work in some auto attacks.
And Illidan is still at the bot lane. Illidan is at the bot lane, so even up to the top, the Web Weaver doesn't do as much. They did not get the kill against BKB that they wanted. The bullet against Arthas already made him to be very cautious, and then they had the support for BKB with the Putrid Bile. He could move around. And the one thing you don't want to do, we don't want to follow him through the Putrid Bile the entire time. At some point, someone is going to be low enough for Illidan to say, okay, I got this now, and jump in. So the level 13 talent, that's what the Good Guys are aiming for. And I like that they are cautious about what they're doing. They're really waiting for this advantage now. We've seen, especially in the first week when they played against Team Liquid, a few moments where they were way too far out on the map. BKB in particular got way too greedy with his positioning as a tank at the front line, which made it very difficult for them in a lot of fights. But this is them being a lot more cautious and disciplined in the way they are approaching the map and also the team fights.
They do make a big play here, though, as Antahero will move in. He stole the Giants from the opponents. Hook comes out. It's going to be on a Eternal. Kronos cannot follow it up as Chris steps forward to bring up the slows, but the Web Weaver's being pushed in on the top, middle, and bottom with the Giants. This is the moment for Team Good Guys to take the straw and break the Camel's back. Yeah. Can they get some forts?
The hunt that we just saw is the big problem what can happen when you're hunting Genji, that he is swift striking away and you are following the full distance. The cooldown is still on 26 seconds, but keep in mind that Illidan can reduce his cooldowns by auto-attacking, so that's something that it will shorten this very soon, already does in the mid lane. Another force wall being said, they're just trying to slow down the rotation a bit. Top Weaver gets a massive amount of value. They're busy in the middle here. They're doing some work, but they're just now starting to take down forts.
Yeah, the play on the bottom was to set up the middle and top play here to get the forts here. They got the fort in the top. Can they get the one in the middle? This would be a great addition for their pick. Ooh, Hook coming out, but just barely missing out on Wolf Joe. But still, fort does fall, and Team Good Guys going to be slightly happy with that exchange.
Yeah, they got all three. They got
all
all
they
three
did get
forts.
it with Donut, yeah. Wow.
They sent Illidan down to the bot lane, and he took care of the last one. And keep in mind, he holds 40 gems. They need to get rid of those. They definitely do, because as a melee assassin, you find yourself now in a spot where you're like very anxious about not being picked off. And that makes sure you will not be as aggressive as you want to be. So they are really in a position where Antihero needs and wants to turn in.
They're working on it, but the Playing Ducks aware of this. Moving for an aggressive play. They are beating up on BKB. Illidan sneaking over on the side. Nande does spot him though, so Illidan can't go for the turn-in. BKB gets away safely, but you're right, those gems, it's being very hard. I feel like if Antahero didn't have as many gems on him, that would have been engaged. They would have flown there and tried to get on top of somebody.
Oh yeah, 100%. He would have hunted in there, and they get rid of those 43 now. So Antihero is going to be very relieved with this and just saying, okay boys, I'm back. We can go. I'm ready. It's the level 15 talent though, sorry, the level 15 situation. Yeah, there comes immediately the jump. Not really liking the Genji as a target for the hunt though, but they are putting Sportbilly under more pressure than I thought possible. Divine Short Storm comes out. We have also still slicing and dicing inside of Genji with a Dragon Blade. He goes in after he's received the Ancestral, the death of Greymane.
He's going to fall, and Antahero's trying to get back as well, but that Divine Storm didn't work out too well, and the Playing Ducks say it's go time. They move in. They're getting 3 kills. They're looking for a 4th, and they will get it. Tassadar, the lone one standing here available for the team. The turn-in also didn't popping for the Team Good Guys.
Yeah, there were a couple of mistakes with this. Just look at that fight now as it happens. This is where it all turns around against them, and we don't see the Cursed Bullet coming out at all, so they're never really going in for the fight. They find themselves in a really awkward spot and just on the run, and that is where Lunara is having a heyday. She just goes in, delivers the damage, and even when they die here at the end, after Uther has fallen, he's trying to get close enough to heal them, but he's never in a position where he can close that gap since he was the one trying to escape up to the top. Great momentum by the Ducks, really well played that team fight, and once they were driving them away, that was, for Chris, it was ideal. It doesn't get any better than that. Yeah. So with Malthael engaging and everybody trying to get away, that was the biggest deal here.
Poor Billy has been taken down here for Illidan as he charges in, but with the reflect he'll be fine, especially with Wolf Joe. But yeah, that fight for Uther just did not work out. I believe the Divine Storm actually missed everybody, did not connect, and they had to run away. The Good Guys in a spot now where they're tied up against the Playing Ducks. They only lose 1 fort with that push due to the boss, but still, being on even talents when they have an advantage has gotta hurt.
Yeah, there was definitely, it has to be annoying considering how far ahead they were. But for the Ducks, it is fantastic because they have the level 16 talent now for Malthael, and we have talked about how strong that can be. Nice isolation, get a bit of free damage in, bullet hits as well. 30-second cooldown, but worth it, pushing them back. And they have the potential for a turn in here. So they are trying to make that work. Nande still floating around, seeing if he can maybe stop it, but they're not really willing to engage into it just yet. Cooldowns are ready for all of them, and the Web Weavers are in, so now we're talking keeps.
Playing Ducks will set up here for defense. They've got the Mercenaries to push down the middle. They can then go to the top lane and defend that, the most valuable lane to defend with the boss being available. In fact, they're actually looking for a bit of a scuffle as they head to the top here. Floating around, Antahero, did he see them? I believe he saw them. Yeah, he now saw them with the Arthas being up.
All right, Nande moves in. And he goes straight for BKB. There comes immediately the move onto the Arthurs after the bullet has hit. Once again, Dragon Blade is out. That's a big cooldown that we just used for the fence here, where we were still at the bot lane, but we can still see and engage. A lot of the cooldowns will be ready for a fight if the good guys are looking for it.
I love that flank. They went into a moment where they can get into a fight and if they get a kill, great, but it makes them clear up the middle lane easily, which means they can come back on the rotation, keep the good guys back at bay, and then clear the bottom and then focus on defending the top lane. That was a really cool strategical play.
As long as it works and you don't die, it's great. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely right. You are getting the value of the deep push, and then you can simply focus up to the top where everybody else is now focusing. It was really well done. But they have a lot of abilities still on cooldown, and that's the one problem they have. Bullet was shot, but missed, if I'm not mistaken here, and Stitches is low, and Genji gets the kill. The Divine Storm is too late, and Kronos is gonna fall as well. Good guys showing quite a bit of weakness in these last battles here.
Yeah, they're taking way too much poke. This poisonous comp, this Lenara, this Malthael, just slowly but surely deteriorating them in every single team fight. Sport Billy comes in for the cleanups. He gets a couple of pickoffs. 2 people were taken away. And Playing Ducks defending gets a big web push that came their way. They only lost about half the health on their keep.
Good guys are making just way too many mistakes at this point, because when that fight happened, we had major cooldowns not being ready for the Playing Ducks, whereas for the good guys, most of their abilities were ready. The cursed bullet missed, and there's just too many things that went wrong here. If they coordinate these situations a bit better, they come out much, much stronger. So they're starting to lose the control over this game quite heavily. The Ducks are really starting to regain the control over the game, and with that Web Weaver wave, they are most likely going to take both forts, and they could even aim to get a bit more.
Yeah, I can start working on breaking down the outer layers of defense for the team good guys, and the Playing Ducks with a slight advantage of looking for 19-20, even maybe forcing a fight. Illidan in the top lane defending by himself, but Arthas and Malthael are hoping to stop that as they're going to go in for the rotation on the top lane.
Did he just nearly... Ah, okay. He was attacked at the top and wanted to hunt in the middle, I assume. So he was reset onto a small cooldown for the hunt. But yeah, that's looked strange for a second as if it was a misclick on a minion. But apparently he just wanted to switch the lanes. The problem that they have now is they lose 2 forts, as we kind of predicted. The problem with it is now it's nearly level 20 for the opponent.
Can they get the kill on Arthas? They're trying to. They're focusing him down, but the Ancestral Healing comes out. Inferno turning around for the damage, but Chris getting low. Antihero and crew are going in. They're wanting to fight before 20 hits.
They are really chasing, and they get none there. This time was perfect, and Antihero is keeping close to the opponent, but he can't quite pull it off. Or can he get the distance? No, not with Rhaegar dropping the totem here. So they get 1 kill, and now they will most likely make the play for the boss.
They're moving up for the keep, actually, here. They want to get down. With the Web Weaver, they're pushing in the bottom, so they're hoping just to do something while that Web Weaver comes up. Because until that Web Weaver falls, they can't get boss. They're going to go ahead and grab keep.
Keep is a great decision. I did not realize that it was this low. So the keep is absolutely fantastic. And they will have an easy time moving back from this. Quick bullet comes out immediately. So at this point, Eternal has already taken a fair amount of damage, and they just move over. They can still see if they want to go for the boss here.
They have to be careful of the hooks. Hooks could be deadly here. Stun into Divine Storm. This is a dead member on anyone if they get hit.
Yeah, so they're not making the choice just yet, and they decide against it. They don't want to fight it. They have the 5 versus 4, but they don't want to fight at the boss, and they're moving away from it. The 20 is just too much. The 20 has hit, and it's just a little bit too strong for them. But all of a sudden, it's the Ducks who are trying to go for the boss here. And with Malthael, you have a very good move against the boss. So once this is Illidan is trying to get the 20. They're trying to hit the 20 in time and then get the position.
If it goes down, this will be the indicator for the Playing Ducks. They have a few seconds to move in and burn down the boss, and they are shredding it. Illidan's hunt not available for 12 seconds, and Team Good Guys will have to deal with the weight of a push coming their way. Illidan's going to work on getting 20 in the bottom.
Yeah, it's a cool game. They get that 20. Illidan is going to get it. I'm just asking myself still if they should have taken the 5 versus 4, even with the 20 being available, if that would have been worth it. Right now, they just have to defend against the boss. They are likely to lose the keep, but they shouldn't really have much more trouble than that. The keep, on the other hand, will fall. Or at least it should fall, unless we see a bit of misplay. BKB is way out there. Gets the shields, though, and the heals, able to move away. But here comes the Dragon Blade from Genji, and Malthael is going deep.
Malthael being stunned here. Eternal is going to be able to take damage here, and Anti-Hero's turning around. The Tormented Soul's being down. Sportbilly low on health, and he takes a big chunk from the Gilning Cocktail. Eternal locked in, and that's going to be it. The hunt, you're right, is up. Are they going to chase? No. They decide to wait here.
I really thought he would hunt Genji. So he either didn't see him, either Genji was already outside of the vision, or they just said, okay, let's get Eternal. Maybe he was also afraid of jumping into them.
Yeah, he has to be careful there, because remember, if he goes in and gets hit with a Leaping Strike twice, probably a little bit too far away to get saved, and then Malthael with the buyback, that might have been game.
Yeah. So Malthael is immediately back, thanks to the buyback that you just mentioned. He's level 20. So we have that one kill, though, and that is, at this point, of course, something that is also more or less negating his 20 for the next 2 minutes. So at this point, we have camps taken, turn-in attempt again, but we don't have enough gems yet for either one of these teams. I'm liking this. 7 kills against 5 level, 21 versus 20. And again, the good guys are ahead with a 2-0 in the series. If the Ducks don't win this, then they are out of the series without even taking a map. Both teams have lost a keep and are angling now for a good approach to the team fight, a good flank in isolation here.
Also something to worry about and think about. If there's a moment where the Playing Ducks overextend at any point, Illidan, he can hunt into the top left lane, maybe start moving in for the core, focus it down, lots of things to consider for the Ducks. But you're right, they have to pull out a victory. At the same time, Team Good Guys, they're just trying to farm up 16 gems so they can drop them off for the turn-in and get Web Weavers pushing so they can move in for a kill on the core. Nande flanking in with a cursed bullet to the face.
Immediately. At this point, Great Boss is just chunking the bullets out. Every time he sees him, he goes in. But BKB with a Putrid Vial, once again, Eternal not just committing yet to his ult, jumps in now. Doesn't use the ult yet, but BKB is really suffering at the hands of Malthael.
They're trying to keep him alive. He's going to walk forward for the Divine Storm. Will he go for it? Anti-Hero moving in as well. Stitches does get picked off. Anti-Hero low too. He's trying to get out, and Kronas is unable to save him. Eternal is just shredding, moving forward. Raid Boss, the last member here, trying to live forward. Just Zay left and Playing Ducks. They do it here with Sports Billy. Charges forward and goes straight to the core.
They go in and take everybody down, especially Malthael just poking away at BKB was way too much, and that is a complete wipe. They're taking down after Redemption saved them Uther once again. And this is the Ducks just calling back and saying, boys, we are still in this. You don't walk away with a victory just yet.
The Playing Ducks gain a win here, and they will not have Team Good Guys shut them out. It's a 2-1 in the favor of Good Guys, but we're going to a game number 4, and I'm pretty happy about it. If the Playing Ducks are willing to bring it back here and start winning in these team fights, we've got a series on our hands.
Yeah, we definitely do. So right now we have seen basically 3 variations of the same draft on the side of the Good Guys, and I am pretty hyped for the 4th map. Because right now, this was a map choice of the Playing Ducks. And of course, now we're having either first pick, first ban for the Good Guys again, or we have their map being played. And the last one was already pretty cool. They're back and forth the entire time, but just in that late game, the value of Malthael was really something in these fights. BKB had so many problems staying alive once that Malthael really connected and got value out of his trade. It was crazy.
Yeah, the Lenora also chilling away at the same time.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think in that situation, I understand they were trying to retreat because Army of the Dead was popped up, but I wouldn't have mind for Corona to step forward as a Uther, be willing to die because he had Redemption, keep that Stitches alive, and maybe turn around the fight. They seemed too fearful to go in for the engage. They were playing around and waiting for another Cursed Bullet to come out.
I think they were really waiting a lot for them to find an opportunity to make the engage happen. It comes back to what we said at the beginning of the game. You can look at both of the drafts from different angles and can say whoever gets the initiation, whoever is the one who starts the fight, is the one who will have the upper hand because he can start with this combo or just gets the opening here. And they were not willing to fight on the terms of the Ducks. And once they started retreating, it just turned out that Malthael chased them down. The Lunara slow came into play. And once that the Arthas connects with you, you can't run away anymore. At that time, Stitches already died to the poke, so you fight a 4 versus 5.
Seems like a slow and steady style really works for this team for Playing Ducks. Use allow Eternal and crew to kind of float around, let Chris work in the damage, and then give someone like Genji to support Billy so they can make that play-making moment.
Yeah, but at the same time, we have to also consider that at the beginning of the game to the mid-game, we had a massive lead for the Good Guys.
True.
And it really turned with that one team fight. And that team fight was a bit of an issue. If they wait this out a bit longer and wait for the level 16, they have a much better position there. So that was a battle they shouldn't have taken, and if they play this a bit smarter, hit the 16 and then get the turn in, this could be a completely different game. It was a one fight that allowed the playing ducks to come back into it, and from that point on, they played a fantastic game, played really slow, played very, very disciplined, and are able now to walk away with the victory. And now we're going to find out if we're going to see another reverse sweep in Europe, or if the good guys can clinch out